So I will start by welcoming everyone to this webinar. I think that we really look forward to the CSML speaker series, and it not only gives us an opportunity to hear from a professional, hear the perspective of someone who is out there in the marketplace, actually doing academics, getting experience on business, and actually just getting the experience in terms of careers. So we are fortunate for that. So I welcome everyone in the attendee list. I also welcome Dr. Charity Jennings. We will have the opportunity to hear from her, of course, because that is the main item for today. But we will also hear from Dr. Shams Al-Ashrawi, introducing Dr. Jennings. So with that, I'm going to go to the next slide. I am Rachna Kumar, welcoming you for the webinar. And I'm the Dean for the California School of Management and Leadership, which in short, we call CSML. Let me take just a few minutes to tell you a little bit about CSML and about Aligned International University. The next few slides we will go through that. So CSML, the management school, is a part of Alliant International University. And Alliant dates back in its tenure to 1909. 1909 onwards, we have existed, graduating students in different disciplines. So you can imagine the number of alumni we have, and students that study with us join this very, very vast and diverse group of alumni. We are WASC accredited, the best accreditation that there is. We have schools in business, psychology, forensics, education, and law. This webinar is being brought to you by the School of Management, which is School of Business. We have campuses all over California and Phoenix. So you see on your slide, San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Irvine, Fresno, Sacramento, and our newest campus is in Phoenix, Arizona. Let me tell you a little bit about CSML in the next few slides. So Stella, you can go to the next slide. CSML is a management school. We are primarily a graduate school, and actually Alliant itself is a graduate school, which means our programs are either master's programs or doctoral programs. Our mission is to train students in widely diverse disciplines within business, and for preparing them ready for local, national, and global performance and joining as careers in different businesses, different disciplines. See listed in front of you the graduate programs we have. We have at the master's level an MBA. At the MS level, we have an MS in Information Systems and Technology, MS in Data Analytics, and MS in Healthcare Analytics. And at the doctoral level, we have a DBA, Doctor in Business Administration, and a PhD in Leadership. We have several certificate programs that do not lead to a degree, but the certificate programs essentially are made up of 9 graduate units, which means once you get done with the certificate, you get the certificate in cybersecurity or data analysis, as you see listed there. But these 9 units are graduate credits. You can take it to any program where they are applicable. And so, for example, if you were to join an MS in data analytics, the 9 units you did in the certificate program will apply to that program. And these are graduate units. You can take it to any other university, any program where they are relevant, and they will apply. So that's California School of Management and Leadership. I think I have probably one other slide in this Alliant and CSML segment. One of the things that we are very proud about is our Career and Professional Development Program. We call it CPD. And what this does is it requires students to be getting practical training, which is applied training, practical training in real businesses or client projects, all throughout the program, from day one when you start the program till when you graduate. The nice thing is that you get to work on real applications. You get client engagements, you also have faculty mentorship, and these are training projects and training opportunities that prepare you for employment and also give you a lot of skills for practical training. So that's CPD, and it's a unique criteria that is required for graduation, programmed graduation, and all students in all our programs do it from day one till the day you graduate, which is a real privilege to have, to graduate with so many skills and strong resume saying this is what I have done actually in applications. Next slide, please. So with that, I give it to Dr. Shams Al-Ajrawi to introduce our speaker, the main event for today.
Sure, with my pleasure. So dear graduate student and esteemed faculty members, welcome to today's sessions on the topic that is both engaging and essential in the modern business landscape. We are honored to have with us Dr. Charity Jennings, a distinguished expert in the field of education and business strategy, who will be sharing her insights on fostering healthy skepticism in business. Dr. Charity Jennings is the Director of Curriculum and Learning Strategy at Wiley Edge, where she is at the forefront of designing educational technology and learning strategies to support learners in securing job placement and corporate clients. Additionally, she serves as the Assistant Chief Academic Officer for Center Education Group, overseeing degree and diploma programs in health professions. With a rich background in academic affairs, curriculum development, and program implementation, Dr. Jennings brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to her role as an associate faculty at the University of Phoenix. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Charity Jennings as she enlightens us on the importance of fostering healthy skepticisms in the business world. Dr. Jennings, yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Al-Ajrawi, and thanks, Dr. Kumar, for having me here today. I'm really excited to be with you all and to share a little bit about how we can foster a healthy skepticism in business. As she mentioned, I'm Charity Jennings. I have been a professional over 20 years in business and education, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit about the insights I've learned from that experience over time. And I will welcome all of your questions either in the chat or live at the end of the session today. So what is healthy skepticism? It's not a concept we hear a lot in business. It's one that we don't necessarily hear about. We hear about a lot of communications, transparent communication, open communication, but we probably don't talk as much about healthy skepticism. So I wanted to start just by speaking about what that is. As you navigate the workplace and the business world more generally, fostering a healthy sense of skepticism can improve your performance and your organization's performance. According to Ten Hacken in 2017, healthy skepticism is a communication style that, quote, encourages employees to question whether they could have done the job better and did they offer clients the best solution. It's a way that we can open up communications to improve our performance. Is there a better solution to a problem or a business opportunity? Can we improve and have better performance in our business? And generally speaking, can we do better? Healthy skepticism helps us ask those questions in an open way that can improve our business. So why would we develop some healthy skepticism? It helps us counter a human tendency for people to conform to just one narrow set of ideas, or to serve as a yes person to one strongest voice. Often one person can have a strong opinion, and it can sometimes feel a little uncomfortable to challenge that person or to maybe have a different opinion. Healthy skepticism, if we can bring that to the workplace, we can use that in a targeted way to promote innovation and to be an intrapreneur in your organization. Healthy skepticism may even help you identify ideas or develop ideas that can allow you to strike out on your own as an entrepreneur and start your own enterprise. One of the reasons we want healthy skepticism in the workplace is to counterbalance what we call conformity bias. This is a tendency to go along with others without either expressing one's own ideas or even thinking for oneself. It can be a little easier, a little less, I guess, a little less static if we can just sort of go along with a strong voice. And this is a force that tends to occur in all human interactions. On the one hand, conformity bias actually helps us to form a bit of a sense of community with others. It can promote a sense of safety and stability and help us build relationships. So a certain amount of getting along and agreeability and agreeing with each other, even conformity, is okay. But on the other hand, conformity bias can lead to some negative outcomes as well. Things like in-group or out-group behavior, which can isolate other people. It can also lead to either overwork on some people's part and social loafing on others, where not everybody is taking on an equal workload. So some are taking on more than others. Or an organization full of yes people, where one strong voice sort of sets the tone, even if they're leading us down a path that isn't as good as it could be. You get a lot of people who just sort of follow that strong voice. That one voice is setting the whole agenda for the organization. Healthy skepticism can help you avoid an over-reliance on conformity, so we can still get some of the benefits of that sense of community while overcoming some of those negative outcomes. Healthy skepticism is a way that we can apply critical thinking to the social dynamics of our workplace and can help us question some of the negative impacts of conformity bias. Healthy skepticism means we can bring a sense of curiosity to our work in order to seek out objective truth about what opportunities and approaches will work best. Healthy skepticism helps us process information. It helps us ask straightforward or even tough questions, and helps us get beyond an easy or comfortable surface level approach. If we can bring a healthy skepticism to the workplace, it can also help us promote innovation. I talked at the beginning about how this lets you look for better outcomes. It helps you ask, can we do this better? Is there a better solution for ourselves or for our clients? Is there a better way? And healthy skepticism, by bringing some of those questions, actually leads an organization to be more innovative because it brings more voices into the conversation. It brings more perspectives and opportunities, more ideas, and we may end up developing multiple ideas, whereas in a conformity bias situation, we may only focus on that one strongest voice. Healthy skepticism can help you and your team focus on the future options, tomorrow's options, rather than relying on yesterday's solution. I know in organizations that I've been part of, we've always struck a balance between hiring from outside the organization to get some fresh ideas and fresh perspectives, and promoting from within to recognize the achievement and the contributions of internal staff. One of the reasons we do that is to get voices who might be willing to ask questions. Why are we doing it that way? Have you considered these other options? Is there a better way than we have always done it before? For a time in my career, there was even almost a bias against the way we always did it. We might have taken healthy skepticism a bit too far, but I think there's value in understanding that you don't necessarily want to just keep repeating the same way you do things. You want to open up the ideas, ask if there's a better way, and see what those innovative ideas are. In this way, you can improve processes. You can improve the ways that your departments communicate. You can improve the way that the flow of information or process happens in your organization, and can even improve the feedback loops from your clients and customers. Healthy skepticism can help you discover new solutions. It opens up the conversation by asking questions and inviting answers from a wider variety of voices. You will discover new solutions. It's almost guaranteed that if you ask those questions a little bit more, is there a better way? Is there a better solution? It opens up the creative juices of the group and brings in new solutions. And from there, you can innovate to create better products, better services, or improve client outcomes. So depending on the kind of business you are, depending on the kind of products or services you provide, asking those questions actually helps us to get to better outcomes for those. In my current work with Edge, we do a hire, train, deploy business. We hire recent college graduates. We train them in a specific job role, and then we place them, deploy them out to clients, corporate clients. And in that business, we are always asking, is there a better way? Is there a more efficient way that we can do the training to get them on the job faster? Is there a better way that we can support our consultants while they're on the job so that they grow quickly? They're often new to the workplace. So we ask, what are the better ways we can support learning and development while they're on the job so that they can add value to our clients' organizations faster? And in fact, when we do that, we find that we get better outcomes for our clients. Our clients come back and ask for more placements. They ask for more new hires that we can share to deploy at their sites. And they actually hire and promote our consultants into their own business as full-time employees, to the point where we have numerous hiring managers coming back to us who are alumni of our program. They had been part of our program 2, 3, 5 years ago, and now they're coming back and hiring our new graduates and our new hires because they had a good experience. They've seen good outcomes at their client site, all because this is a business that's always asking, is there a better way we can do this? Can we be more efficient? Can we be more effective? Is there a better solution? In 2017, a Gallup survey found that employees were more productive when engaging in the kind of dialogue and personal development that comes from using healthy skepticism. By opening up the conversation to these type of skeptical questions, people are actually more productive, they're more creative, and they contribute more over time. Being skeptical and asking tough questions can also take our intrapreneurial endeavors to a new level. Intrapreneurship is developing and promoting new products, services, and ideas within an existing organization. So it's a way that individuals can grow and add value to their company within the structure of perhaps a big corporate environment. Some corporations will use Cotter's 2 operational systems to have business as usual for the bulk of the staff and the bulk of the operation, but have a second operation to roll out a new idea, to roll out a different process or a different way of doing things, to test out new ideas that may in turn become part of business as usual later. Intrapreneurs are the reason that those happen, and their good ideas often come from bringing a sense of healthy skepticism to the workplace. If you can do this, you'll help ensure that you and your collaborators or your partners are getting good outcomes from those new initiatives. And you may in turn actually change the path of your whole company over time by developing and expanding on those new ideas. Healthy skeptics ask the tough or straightforward questions that can help in avoiding miscommunication or assumptions that lead to disappointment. By speaking up and asking questions, skeptics help open the doors to communication and enhance trust if done in a way that is tactful and respectful. This helps both in an intrapreneurial endeavor or by striking out on your own, building up a new client base with a new company in an entrepreneurial way. You ask your growing company, you start a new company, you ask that your partners can Look for better solutions. Maybe you're an entrepreneur because you've discovered a better solution. And in some cases, there's not room for that better solution inside of your old company. So you start yourself a company on your own, strike out, take that better solution to the marketplace, and can grow from there. All of the ideas that become new entrepreneurial endeavors have come from asking, is there a better solution? Is there a better way we can do this that will serve the market in a more effective way? All of these ideas can ensure that your intrapreneurial and entrepreneurial ideas are more successful. You can also build entrepreneurial ideas by applying skepticism so that you don't take things for granted. Healthy skepticism ensures that you're operating on solid facts, not just the way that you've always done it. It also helps you question your assumptions and validate facts. When you're building up your own business, when you're striking out in an entrepreneurial way, you may bring assumptions to that work. You need a method that will help you question yourself and let your employees question you in turn so that the company can develop its new products and services based on the input of the full team. Healthy skepticism lets you put your projects and issues into perspective. It can help you identify what really needs to be done and can help you prioritize the activities that are going to give you the best return on your investment. So how do you do this? How do you engage in healthy skepticism? Skeptics promote innovation by first suspending judgment while they learn more. So they bring an open mind to the endeavor. They bring an open mindset. They haven't made a decision yet, and they suspend judgment. I'm not going to draw a conclusion just yet. I'm not going to make a judgment or a decision just yet. I'm going to keep things open a little bit longer. Suspending judgment is sort of the first prerequisite to a healthy skepticism. Once you're open to those questions and those ideas, the next thing you want to do is apply some systematic doubt to analyzing a problem. This means that you don't accept the first answer. You say, is that really the answer? You take a look at your data. What is the data telling me? Could it be telling me something different? Systematic doubt is not taking the obvious answer on the surface and running with it. It's to say, is this really the best analysis of the data? Is this really the best information I can apply to this problem? Have I looked at all the research that might help me improve on that product or service or client outcome? Applying that doubt, asking those questions gives you the opportunity to learn just a little bit more before drawing a conclusion. Next, you want to assess your observations and the observations of others. Are we making the right observations? And are we starting to draw the right conclusions? Is there a different way we could think about this? Assessing the observation says, I'm not sure if what I saw is the full picture. We always hear the metaphor of a group of blind people looking at an elephant. Well, they're not looking at the elephant. They might be touching the elephant. And one person touches the ear and thinks that maybe this is wallpaper, or perhaps it's some type of roll of paper, or maybe it's a blanket even. Someone else will feel the tail and say, oh, is this a rope? I don't know. Maybe this is a rope. And someone else might feel the leg of the elephant and say, oh, I think this might be a tree. When we assess our observations, it gives us a chance to step back and say, is there more that I could observe before drawing a conclusion? Because if I can feel all of the parts of the elephant, I might draw the conclusion that this is an elephant in front of me. By assessing my observations, I give myself a chance to fully kind of map out the picture. Finally, once you've started to draw a conclusion, test that conclusion against the available evidence. If I try this conclusion in a different setting, will the outcome be the same? If I try this solution with a different client, will they have the same outcomes as my first client? That's testing your conclusions and testing your solutions against the available evidence and trying it out in new environments. When you can put your suspended judgment together with your systematic doubt, your assessment of observations, and then testing conclusions, then healthy skeptics form a judgment about how best to move forward. In this way, skeptics and colleagues can come to an innovative solution that can actually work for the organization and for its clients or customers. So as you build your career and expand your evidence or your influence, how might fostering a healthy skepticism serve you best? Where in your work might that help you most? In my work, that has helped me most by giving me opportunities to learn more from my colleagues. It's helped me to ask questions that have helped my organizations avoid pitfalls. I've asked skeptical questions because I'm a little worried that we haven't quite looked around the corner and there's something we're going to run into around that corner. So by using these kinds of skeptical questions, it's helped us to fully check out the environment, make sure that our solution is going to work. And it gives everyone a chance to pause, sort of look at what's ahead and determine, hey, is our solution going to work? So that's one of the ways that's helped me. It's helped me grow at multiple institutions, 2 institutions of higher education, as well as 3 different corporate environments. It's helped me to demonstrate my value to my organization because I'm asking good questions. I'm bringing new ideas. It helps my colleagues because it gives them a chance to do some analysis, to add their input. They don't feel pressured to just go along with the strongest voice. They know that there's a little space to weigh in. And it's helped me to build both confidence in what I can bring to the table, as well as the confidence of others. So as you think about healthy skepticism, how will you build your career with that? Where in your work might it help you most? I know it's a little bit quick, Dr. Kumar, but those are what I had to share today. Are there questions from the group?
First, thank you very, very much. This is a topic, skepticism, which we sometimes think is just a personality or, in personal relationships. Are you a skeptic? There are so many different ways of using this, but a healthy skepticism in business organizations, in startups, in just about every field, this is such an interesting topic. So thank you for detailing that. Thank you for bringing this up in this seminar because it makes us all think about it. Now, I will take some questions before that in the chat. We have how to handle the fear that can cause silence. You talked about groupthink and yes people. So Becky, I think this was Becky's. Yes, Becky is asking how to handle the fear that can cause silence. And give me 1 second just to tell everyone, you can turn your videos on. I don't know if that is something I need to set up here. If you can turn your video on, feel free to turn it on. Yes, back to you, Dr. Jennings.
Sure. So Becky, thank you so much for the question. I do agree with you. I think fear is one of the reasons that people don't speak up, especially if someone feels they're in a junior position, if they feel that they don't have the positional authority to maybe raise a question or raise their hand. And there are some organizations that sort of reinforce that. So there can be organizational culture that can reinforce that sense of fear. I think my advice for that is first to read the room a little bit, get to know the people that you're working with, build that professional relationship, because what you'll do is build some relationship trust that you can use to start having some safe conversations where it's okay to ask those questions. When I'm in a group of very senior folks that I don't work with every day, I don't always speak up quite as much. I might use the chat if I'm on a virtual meeting and post that question. It gives me time to really craft my question in a clear way. And I can use written communication to sort of overcome that reluctance I might have to speak up in a room of senior leaders. And I might limit myself to one really meaningful question instead of 5 or 6 or 7 questions. So I might be really thoughtful and ask one question that I think will have a big impact on the group. I might also see what meetings are coming up. If I realize there's a meeting coming on a topic with people that it's a topic I know about, but it's a group of people that I don't work with every day, I might seek out some colleagues that I have a good relationship with, test out some of my ideas ahead of the meeting, and then get some feedback before I bring that up. That will help me get a little bit of social feedback, a little bit of business feedback on my ideas ahead of a space where I feel like I might have some fear or reluctance. In both cases, I feel like it's almost a case of practicing. If I stay quiet in the meeting, but put my well-crafted question in the chat, I've had a chance to practice, at least in my mind, and really think about the question and write it down before I share it. If I test my ideas with my colleagues before the meeting, almost the meeting before the meeting, I've had a chance to practice what I want to say and get feedback from someone else or maybe a couple of other people to improve the skepticism or the questions that I'm going to bring to the larger meeting. To me, that sense of practice tends to reduce fear. I feel like it gives me the opportunity to present my question for the second time, whereas doing something for the first time is a scarier proposition. So I would say if you can find opportunities to practice in a safer space, that can help you overcome some of the fear. And the other thing I will say is, luck favors the bold. Sometimes you can sort of like take a deep breath, go ahead and ask that question, go ahead and raise your hand, because you will be shocked how often the question you have is the same question that other people have. But you would never know if you didn't ask.
Very true. Very true that when you ask, or if you don't ask, that's when you realize that 3 others asked. So
Yes.
yes, very, very true. I see 2 other questions. So let me go back to the first one. Kamaru, he is asking, what happens if the psychological safety is not there in the organization? If you do not trust your coworkers, you may be thinking you will be vulnerable if you express your healthy skepticism. Can you elaborate on this, please?
Yeah, I think there are definitely some companies and some organizations where the organizational culture is not friendly. I know that that's true, but in the situations I've been in that were the least friendly, and this has been departmental culture to some extent, more that it's been the whole company. But one of my last jobs, I was full-time at the University of Phoenix for about 16 years. And so I did a number of different jobs. Most of those jobs were academic, and I was very much around people who were like me and people who had a similar background from their educational background and so forth. For about 3 years, I worked on a project team for an IT project. And the departmental culture for the project management and IT project groups was very different than the academic departments of the organization. The psychological safety was not as strong in that other department. The trust was not as strong because we hadn't worked together as much. But what I was able to do in that department was find some key individuals that I could create a good relationship with. And in that particular situation, I had a great project manager that I could partner with. And she and I found essentially some psychological safety within our relationship between us. And then we could be a bit of a unified front in a meeting or in a larger engagement with our department. So what I would suggest is that in even the most hostile environments, even the most even potentially toxic environments, I think you should seek out and see if it's possible to build a trusting relationship with one or more people individually. Don't depend on the overall culture of the department or the overall culture of the organization to create that safety, because you probably won't find it, but you should be able to identify some key relationships that can help you partner. And that is how I've developed, like I said, a little bit of safety to go with me into those larger engagements within the company. So I think it would be hard pressed to say that there's no place that you can find that trust. There has to be some relationship, some part of the organization, and it may be someone outside your department. It may be someone that you can work with in a different part of the organization who has a shared interest in the project, initiative, or work that you're doing.
Yeah. And to add to that, I'll pick up on a phrase that you said, the meeting before the meeting. It's a popular one. Many times, the meeting before the meeting could be just to get some support among even one other. If you know there's one other who thinks like you or is on board with what you're thinking, the two of you can bring in more confidence to the meeting, and that skepticism can then be nurtured. So, Dr. Jennings, you have another question from Aaron, Dr. Wester. What are good ways to encourage healthy skepticism to ensure that innovative ideas are thoroughly vetted and refined before implementation, while promoting entrepreneurial thinking within their teams? Are there exercises that help build this courage and boldness, encouragement, trust, the equivalent of trust falling without falling in the wrong direction?
That I think that the steps that we were talking about earlier, where you start with kind of an openness, suspending judgment while you explore a little bit more. I think that's the first thing. In a lot of the conversations I'm part of, my team tends to jump to the solution, to jump to the action item really fast. I have one employee right now in particular. I have to almost be, as a leader, I have to be careful of what I say, because she will take that nugget of a question or a suggestion and jump to what her action items are. Does she have time to get it done? Who can she work with on her team to achieve that? And I have to help her suspend judgment just a little bit. Hey, can we explore an idea? Can we explore a question and suspend the judgment, suspend the conclusion for a little bit? Let's put the conclusion over here in the parking lot and let's suspend that for a second and explore the question. So as a leader, I've invited my teams to do that and say, hey, we're going to explore this one a little bit before we make a decision. And I go ahead and just say that. I use a little bit of meta analysis or kind of metacognitive thinking to help people think about their reactions and to think about their thinking. Okay, we're going to suspend judgment. We're going to put the decision over here. We're going to explore our options. We're going to ask some good questions. We're going to do more research. We're going to test our nascent conclusion. We're going to draw a preliminary conclusion and test it. To me, those are the steps that help me vet an idea. They help me look at evidence. They help me look at research. They help me ask more people, because I've told the group we're going to wait to make a decision. We're going to suspend judgment and set it over here, and we're going to look at all those angles. I try not to do that in a way that gives us like analysis paralysis. It shouldn't take so much time that we never make a decision. We have to bring that out of the parking lot and make a decision. But we don't want to jump to a decision. We want those ideas to be thoroughly vetted. So if we can set the final choice aside a little bit, just for a little bit of time, we can even set the time limit. I've even done a thing where I've put the next meeting on the calendar and said, we will have a decision by this time. We're not going to analyze it to death. We're going to take a moment, think it through, and then go forward. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Erin.
Yes. So Erin thanked you, and everyone's thanking you. Rob said really appreciates the list of questions to bring up in order to promote the skepticism, almost like an exercise. So he'll be using that. I know we are very close to the assigned time, so I will just add one thing. You mentioned a 2017 survey from Gallup, which said employees are more productive when there is a healthy skepticism culture, or there's a leader that promotes that in an organization. And I cannot specifically quote the study here, but following that, not just more productive employees, they say decisions are also made better, performance and completion of projects, because you have more people on board. People have had time, like you said, to kind of practice and bring out what they are thinking. So it has been there's much more buy-in when some decision is made.
Yeah.
And to everyone attending, I think I would say, figure out the difference between healthy skepticism, which is very, very healthy, and as Dr. Jennings, you alluded to towards the end, decision paralysis. The two, just because there is a healthy skepticism doesn't mean that you are okay pushing off the decision to death, I think you said, which is the same as decision paralysis.
Yeah.
So, and those are the thoughts that make organizations managing projects, universities, organizations, projects, all of them basically require a little bit of leadership, a little bit of sensitivity to of course, allowing everyone to bring up what they are thinking and then making a decision, which is really embodied in the title of your talk, Healthy Skepticism. So with that, I want to take this opportunity to thank you very, very much for this topic, very interesting topic. I think everyone can absolutely empathize that this is exactly what they have faced in their situations. I see that there is a hand up by Hina Fatima. Hina, did you have a question? We are ready to wrap up. That's why I'm asking you. I don't see a question here. Hina?
Hello.
Hi. Did you have a question for Dr. Jennings?
No, I'm good, I think, and I liked the session. I was not aware about the things, but now I got to know many things from you. So that's nice, and it's an increase in my knowledge. I really appreciate it. Actually, also, I'm a student in Alliant International University. I'm going to be grad soon, next semester. Like March is my last semester. So yeah, I'm a little curious about my job and everything. Now I heard many things from you guys, and I'm now worrying more about that, like what's going to be happen with me, because I'm very fresher as for now. So yeah, but this
embodies exactly what we were saying, that everyone should be able to speak up, and there should be an opportunity for bringing forth what your thoughts are. So Hina, we should talk more about how you're preparing for your next step after graduation. And we will talk about it later. Would you like to do that?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So thank you very much to everyone for joining, and to Dr. Jennings for bringing such an interesting topic, which really should be in our school, our university, and every other organization.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for having me here today. I was really happy to talk with everyone.
Wonderful. So with that, I think we are going to log off, and I will thank Dr. Jennings one last time, and we will stay connected because we would like you to be in our community and our network as well.
That sounds great.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.